This really is what has saved me the most. It can take you 10 hours. It's not always easy to be on top of your game. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you know me, you know that I have a lot going on in my life right now, and a question that I get asked very often is, how do you do it all? So I thought today I would film a video and really break down all the things that I do in order to make this happen. If you didn't know, hi, my name is Marie. I am an aesthetic nurse. That being said, I manage my aesthetic nursing account on Instagram, which is at Nurse Marie Beauty. I also have my main account on Instagram, which is at Marie Claude. I am also a YouTuber. Obviously, you are watching my video right now. I do post every Monday at 12 p.m. EST. I am also currently doing my bachelor's for nursing. I am in my last semester though. I am so excited to finally be done. Finally, I do work as an aesthetic nurse at a clinic. So that makes quite a few things on my plate that are all work related. And then of course, I do have a boyfriend and I have friends and family. I need to take care of my health and fitness. So balancing everything is really quite a job itself. Here I am, I'm doing it. It's not always easy, but you gotta make it happen. So today I thought I would show you really every step that I do in order to make this happen. If you are feeling very overwhelmed right now, this is the video for you. I really hope these tips will help you out as much as they have helped me out these past couple of years. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first thing that you need is this right here, and this is a planner. I'm speaking to you about this first thing today because this is what you need the most. You cannot go through life without a planner. Planner, agenda, call it what you want, but you need somewhere to write everything you have going down for the next day, month, and even year if you want to be on top of your game. That being said, I have a to-do list for every single day, every single week, every single month, and every single year for the next 5 years. I am that much of a planned out person, and when something is planned, I write it down right away and I really block off that time for whatever is being planned. This really is what has saved me the most. Now let's talk on a day-to-day basis, and that means that you need to make a daily to-do list. It is so important to have one, but it's also very important to know how to make a good one, because if you just write down a million things that you need to get done that day, you are going to see how that is going to backfire on you and you might not get anything done at all. So here are a couple of tips that I want to share with you to make a good to-do list. Sometimes we have a lot going on and we can just think of 20 things I need to get done. But right now, what I want you to do is think about the 3 top things I need to get done right now, and those are the 3 things that are going to go at the top of your list. What are 3 things that you prioritize over anything else? What are the 3 things that are the most urgent? You get it. So make sure to put those at the top of your list, and also for each one, I want you to give yourself a time frame that you will be spending on each of those things. It has already happened to me where I will write a couple of things down on my to-do list and I think, hey, it's only 4 to 5 things that I need to do today. I'll be able to get all that done. But next thing you know, there are certain things on that list that can take you 10 hours to do.
10 hours.
So 10 hours later, you realize you didn't have enough time to get the other things done, and then you feel like you were not as productive and you're feeling very down. So that is why it's so important to write a time frame for each one so you can be realistic with yourself. If you have 3 things to do and each of them take 10 plus hours to do, well, they are not all going to get done today, and that is why it is so important to acknowledge how much time you will need for each of these things. Now, let's say that you don't have a 15-page essay to write and the thing you need to do won't take you a whole day. Let's say it's all little things. Well, then you can definitely write them down and just Sometimes it happens where I have 15 things written down on my to-do list, and that is completely fine, but that is because they might all be little things. Some things may take me 5 minutes, just like some things might take me half an hour, just like some things might take me 2 hours. So sometimes there can be quite a few things on that to-do list. It really depends on the day. But that is why it is so important to, number one, prioritize and write them down in order of priority, and number two, set yourself a time frame for each of those things. If you follow those 2 tips, you will have a great to-do list and you will tackle everything that needs to get done. This was quite a long tip to discuss, but it really is the most important one. I promise the next few tips that I will be sharing with you won't be as long. Now let's move on to the second tip, and honestly, I want to say this one is even more important, but I think I'm going to say that for each of these tips. So I think they're just all as important, to be honest. I don't know, you let me know once you're done watching this. But the second tip that is just so important, and I honestly wouldn't be able to get through my days if it weren't for this, and trust me, I have learned the hard way. I'm still working on it, but I have kind of reached a spot that works for me, and that is taking breaks. I'm going to repeat that. You need to take breaks.
You need to take breaks.
I used to go, I'm not kidding you guys, 12 hours working non-stop. Literally, I would start at 8 o'clock in the morning, or even earlier, maybe 7, and I would work for 12 hours straight. I would barely eat, I would barely check my phone. My work does consist of me being on my phone. So what I mean by checking my phone is checking text messages, checking Instagram, scrolling. Even if a lot of times people will see me on Instagram and they'll think I'm just, you know, scrolling, doing nothing, but I'm working on Instagram. Something as little as watching YouTube videos. Watching YouTube videos is one of my biggest passions. It is the thing that I have done the most on my free time for the past 10 years, I would say. And in the past couple years, I have stopped watching YouTube videos, which actually makes me so sad. That's because of how much I am working. Now in the last year, I would say I'm really getting better at taking breaks throughout the day, because I notice the benefits that it does give me. And for example, what I will do is after, say, a couple of hours of work, I will give myself permission to watch 2 YouTube videos and then get back to work. And I cannot tell you how good that makes me feel. First of all, watching YouTube videos and catching up with certain vloggers really does make me happy. It is really my form of entertainment. So of course, after watching YouTube videos, I feel in a better mood, I feel relaxed, and now I'm ready to get back into it. When you are working all day long without taking any breaks, your brain becomes so tired and you just feel exhausted. I'm sure you can relate. So by giving it a break and giving it a moment to just calm down, relax and refresh, and then your brain is able to get back into things, and then you can work just as hard, if not even harder. The more you work without taking a break, the more your productivity and your just efficiency in working will slowly decrease. And trust me, I have been there. Everything I'm telling you guys today is really through my own experience, because I am definitely a workaholic. So I have, over the past year, really tried to see what works for me and what doesn't. I have heard people say that you need to give yourself a break of minimum 1 hour, and unfortunately that just does not work for me. At one point, after half an hour, I'll just start feeling the itch to get back to work. So you really need to find what works for you. The third tip that is also so important, and that is to remember that it will all be worth it later. There are going to be times where you are feeling so overwhelmed and so stressed that you want to give up. And trust me, you guys, you have to remember that it will all be worth it later. So for me, personally, I've never gotten the urge to give up when it comes to work, but I definitely have when it comes to school. I'll be honest, I am not my biggest fan of school. I could spend, like I said, 12 hours a day working, and it honestly makes me happy. If I were to spend 12 hours in a day working on school-related things, that is really going to be a bad day, let me tell you. But one thing I have always told myself, especially when I was in school to become a registered nurse, the amount of times that I have told myself, keep going, it is going to be worth it later. Keep going, it is going to be worth it later. That mantra is really what kept me going. Honestly, I think I told myself that every single day, and here I am, I'm a registered nurse, and now everything is good. But trust me, if you are doing something right now that just feels so overwhelming and you're just feeling so stressed, just stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that this is going to be worth it later. Everything is going to fall into place. You are going to succeed, and just take a break if you need it. Watch a couple YouTube videos, get back into it, and just remind yourself it is going to be worth it later. So now I am speaking about school, but of course this can be related to so many different things. But if you are dealing with, you know, feeling very overwhelmed with school, a little trick is to maybe write that little mantra, or any of your mantra that really makes you feel good. Write it on a post-it and stick it at different places that during the day you'll be doing something, and then you'll just happen to see the post-it, and it'll be just a nice reminder that will help, you know, make you feel good and keep going. My last tip for you today, and once again, I think I want to say this is the most important one. I'm not sure, they're all so important to me, but it's just so important to take it one day at a time and one step at a time. If you're anything like I am, I often think so far ahead, and I have so many goals that I want to hit, and it's just, sometimes it becomes very overwhelming, I will be honest with you. So what I will do is realize that I really need to break down everything into steps. If I want to get to here, how am I going to get here? I need to first do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. And one thing I had to realize is that all these steps cannot be done in one day. They can sometimes take, if not weeks, months, and years to get here. So you need to realize, and you need to remind yourself that things take time and that they cannot all happen right away. Just like the quote goes, good things take time. That is also another thing that I have repeated to myself many times, and it really is true. Just like one of my goals of becoming a registered nurse, which took years to obtain, I finally am here today, but that is something that took so long. Or my goal of becoming an aesthetic nurse, that also took so many baby steps to get here. But sometimes I just need to remind myself for other goals that I have in mind how these things really do take time, and I can't expect to just succeed right away. But that's it for today's video. I really hope it helped you guys out. These really are the 4 things that have really brought me to where I am today. So I really hope it will help you guys out. If you guys have any tips and tricks on how to balance life and school and work and just anything you have going on, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear. I always love trying new tips and tricks, so leave them down below for myself and for everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for all my future videos. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll just catch you guys in the next one. Bye!